Hey, this is Wesley Blackwell, and you're listening to the Nightly Strange.
You're welcome to the Nightly Strange.
Welcome to the Nightly Strange, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, D-Mac Uno, live and direct from my mama's basement. How's everybody doing today? We got a special guest in the house tonight, Wesley Blackwell. Give it up for him, ladies and gentlemen. How you doing today, man? How you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for having me, D. I appreciate you.
Hey, man, anytime. So, hold on. Before we get to start the topics and stuff, did you watch the Gucci and the Jeezy live on Instagram?
I didn't really get the chance to watch the whole thing. I saw clips of it on Instagram, you know what I mean, like in just different forums, but it looked pretty good, you know.
Did you? So for me, I knew it was going on, but I forgot. So I'm trying to watch that in the Seahawks game. But then I was like, oh, let me log in. And so as soon as I tap in, he does the song "Truth."
Yeah.
Where he's talking about killing Jeezy's homeboy, and like, you know, they're across from each other on stage, but he's looking straight at him. And so like at the situation, I understand why he did it, but I understand what Jeezy said afterwards, because you know what I'm saying, they sent the dude to go kill Gucci, and Gucci made the song, so he's been waiting 15 years to say something, and he's like, I'll say it to your face. But then Jeezy was like, yo man, I invited you here, I gave you this olive branch on some grown man shit. He was like, because I want you and me to squash this beef, because he's like, all these rappers out here is dying and killing each other because they saw what we went through. You know what I'm saying? And then also it kind of made me think of you, because like, you know, Gucci Man was like, yo, look at my outfit, it's $10,000. And when Jeezy was like, that's cool, man, I own half of Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Just got him.
Yeah.
Just got him. So you're a business owner. What was the idea behind the business you started?
Well, we have several family businesses, and every business that we own is a family business. We all have an ownership stake in these businesses. The one we're speaking about, Juice DriveThru Java, was just something that, you know, it's kind of weird, because I drove by the location and it just was empty. I've been, you know, going about trying to like start several other ventures that I had several other ideas that didn't pan through. This one was kind of something that just kind of went through. It was just perfect timing. It's like in the same month we got the lease for that building. We also got the lease for our 14 Hearts medical agencies building as well. So it was just perfect timing more than anything else. And the idea was really loosely based around the juice part. Cause I always loved juice growing up. I mean, that's something that, it was a luxury for us because we didn't grow up with a lot of money. So juice was like, okay, that's a huge luxury in our family.
Nice.
And the drive-through part was more because I was born in Ohio. You know, I've been living here since I was 10 years old. Grew up out here in Bremerton, of course, but I was born in Akron, Ohio. And so we have these things called drive-thrus where you can go and pick up pretty much damn near anything that you want. Excuse my language.
Nah, you cool.
You can pick up almost anything that you want driving through a drive-thru. You can get a do-rag at the drive-thru. You can get beer at the drive-thru. You can get a loose cigarette. So like, you know, like they say, at the drive-thru. Yeah. You can get pretty much anything at the drive-thru. So, you know, it's like an open garage that you can drive through the middle of, actually. You stay in your car, and they bring it in, and they just basically hand it to you while you're in your car. It was just an idea that I thought that we needed out here, something that kind of offered more than just coffee or more than just simple drinks. You can provide more things to people. So that's where that part of it came from. So, and of course the Java side of it is because we live in Washington and people like coffee.
Coffee stand on every corner.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It got so bad out here in Washington that I remember my friend came up here from Utah, and him and his wife were driving around, and he called me instantly. He's like, bro, why didn't you tell me they had topless coffee stands? I'm like, oh yeah, we do that, man. It's competitive out here, competitive. So what you guys? You sell coffee, you sell juice. Do you guys sell any other kind of products?
We sell smoothies. We sell fresh wraps. We actually make our own juice. That's really the most important thing. A lot of people told me when we first started that the juice side of it wouldn't work because juice is expensive to make. People don't really realize that. They're like, your price points on these are high, but if you go to any other store like a Whole Foods, you're gonna pay as much, if not more, than, you know, for their juice than you're paying for ours. Yeah. Because fresh juice, anything that you provide that's fresh, is a perishable item. So it's you know, of course it's highly perishable being juice. So you only have maybe a 2-week or less run, because we don't do any kind of processing to our juice. We don't, you know, send it through any kind of high pressure processing, anything like that. It's just straight up, this is 100% juice, no water added, nothing to kind of make it so that it can sit on the shelf longer. You're getting a fresh product, so it makes it so our price points are going to be higher on that juice. So I mean, the biggest thing for us was just making sure that we had a customer base that would could buy the juice, that could afford it, and can consistently come back and get it and make it good enough too at the same time. Because juicing, I'm actually not a super healthy guy all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So just learning about juicing was a task within itself. So just we have 4 varieties that we keep on the shelf like regularly.
Yeah.
And so we had to kind of make the recipe for that. Myself and my manager, Jamie, we made the recipes up and kind of, it's a really big thing for us, kind of be able to provide that product. But
no, the health kick is going, man. Like, I always think about exercising. Like, I think about it, you know what I'm saying? But then, like, I play myself like I'm a diet. But first, I got to eat all this junk in my house first. Then the junk gets low and you start getting that little neck itch. Like, I need some marshmallows. Shit, a little bit, maybe a bar of chocolate, a bar of chocolate. But so your business, the business we're talking about is on 6th Street, right?
Yes, sir.
What's the address of it?
It's 1502 6th Street.
So on 6th Street, I don't know if a lot of people know this in Kitsap County. I use 6th Street because it doesn't get that much traffic. So I'm happy for you that your business is successful because it's your business, Noah's Ark, and then it's that BP gas. It used to be a gas station. It's like a mini mart. And then down the other street, there would be like pizza places and even where your business is now. You know what I'm saying? There used to be a lot of different businesses there. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And yours is successful. What do you think the success is from?
Persistence, perseverance, and just having ideas, and pushing those ideas. That's a really good point you came up with, actually, because we are like on like a side kind of a street, but 6th Street's a side main street, I guess you would call it.
It's a main street, but nobody takes it. That's why, like it can be, 4:25. And excuse me, we've been drinking. 4:25 in the afternoon. Streets is packed, but if I can get to 6th Street,
you're gonna be all right.
I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. Don't take Burwell. Don't take 11. You fucked. Because especially if you're in the left lane, right by the high school, and somebody stops, I'll be waiting for it too. I'll be looking like, yeah, go ahead, stop, motherfucker. You gonna be like, yeah, bitch, hit the fucking turn.
But it's crazy that you really called that out, because that's something that I look at as well. Like, we are on a side street, and just for us to be able to have drummed up the kind of business that we have, being on that street speaks volumes. That's something that we're proud of.
Yeah. It says you have a good product, you know what I'm saying? Because like I said, it's you and there's Noah's Ark.
Yeah.
And even in the like Noah's Ark has been there for years.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't know Noah's Ark is a restaurant. They serve like all kinds of different foods. It's like really in the community, just like you guys.
It's a Bremerton staple.
Yeah,
just definitely a Bremerton
staple.
Just
like your shop has become now. You know what I'm saying? It's a Bremerton staple. Like, you're Bremerton grown, or not grown, you're Bremerton raised.
Yeah, but
you know what I'm saying? It's a Bremerton business, and it's a side street, but it's not a side street.
It really, I mean, that was a big thing for me, of just making sure, because I don't drink coffee, so I don't really.
Me either.
I can now understand a little bit better about different tasting coffee, because I'm starting to kind of like push myself into that a little bit more, foraying myself into like drinking a little bit more coffee. But it's really not my staple.
Got the itch, huh? I can't drink coffee, man. Like, I used to work at I used to be a barista in high school, and I'd be like, let me get 8 shots. Yeah. But one time, like, I made a cup of coffee and I drank it, and I instantly, my stomach started to rumble.
Yep.
And I was like, ooh. And so I'm telling everybody, like, well, that's what coffee does. I was like, why do you drink this?
Yeah.
And people be early in the morning, like, coffee's an addiction.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people have gotten past that point. So I'm at that point too in my life. If I drink coffee, it's the same thing as drinking green juice. You're gonna have the urge to go to the bathroom. But I think
goat's milk.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I think the biggest thing for us is definitely product. You know what I mean? Yeah. I always am we're always very big on trying to make sure that our product is superior to the next person's product. Like, some people may use Hershey's. We use Ghirardelli. And Hershey's is cheaper, and it's better when you look at your price points, but Ghirardelli tastes better. It's just a higher premium brand, of chocolate,
It's well, I mean, what you're telling me from how you guys make your juice and the products that you use, that you're making your food with love. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? People, you can open up a restaurant or a business, but if you're just doing it for the profit, I mean, it's all for profit.
Absolutely.
But if you ain't doing it to look at your customers and be like, you know what, I want you to leave here with a great experience and to feel better after you left here. You know what I'm saying? Like, your business isn't gonna succeed unless you do that.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? Just squeezing fresh juice and shit, like,
I think just the biggest thing is I don't want to serve anybody something that I wouldn't want.
Yeah.
And that's what we are as a business. I don't ever want to outgrow that to the point where you get to the point where you're just serving a product that is subpar, but it doesn't matter because it's making you money.
Yeah.
That's a place where, because we use
like fast food,
and that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Look at Burger King. They're just deciding this year. They're like, hey everyone, we're gonna use real meat that rots.
That's nice.
And they had a commercial or a picture of a burger that was rotten, and they were like, look, our burgers rot now.
The biggest thing is, like, if you look at why that happened, though, Really it's the rise of places like Five Guys, Whataburger, other places like that came along and said we're gonna go ahead and do backyard type burgers. We're pretty much put them on the grill. You're gonna watch it cook right there in front. It's gonna take a little bit. We're gonna cut up our fries. They're gonna be thick fries like you would get at home. It's gonna take a little bit, but they're gonna and the rise of those businesses and how fast that they've kind of grown.
Yeah.
You look at McDonald's. I put this on my page a while back about McDonald's doing the same thing. I said, you can I look at McDonald's as more of a read on the broader society than any one fast food chain. I jump around a lot in my conversation, so
no.
Sometimes you guys
this show is random. This is how we do it.
Sometimes you guys keep up with me. But so that to me gives me a broader read of society as a whole, because there's McDonald's everywhere, and it's the same exact McDonald's. It's not like you got Safeway here, you got some places you got, I think they're called like HEB or something like that. Yeah. In certain places, then back home you got Acme, Click, other all different kinds. You can't really get a full read on what people are doing. You can kind of get a regional read, but you don't know. But McDonald's showed you when they went to
make cafes and stuff.
Absolutely, but even greater than that was when they made their quarter pounder to order. When they started saying we're going to make those to order. Quarter pounder, I'm assuming is one of their top 5 top sellers. Probably 1 or 2 or 3, somewhere around there.
Probably number 2. It's like, it's probably
after their fries
and Big Mac.
After the fries, I'm not even, but and so my
hot
biggest
fries, they don't want to eat them bitches cold.
Yeah, they just
that shit will cut your throat on the way down.
Yeah, but if you look at Five Guys fries, you can eat their fries however you can warm them back up.
Fries are soggy to me. I went to Five Guys and spent all that money. For me, I was poor for so long, is that I cook for myself. So when I go to certain places, I'm like, this is good, but I could have made it at home for myself.
Yeah, I don't. It's not that I love what they're doing. I'm just saying from the perspective of these fries are they're thicker. They can hold up a little. They're soggy. Yeah, they're gonna get soggy quickly too, but they're gonna hold up a little bit more like rewarming a burger that's real meat. Yeah. It's gonna taste a little bit better than what a McDonald's burger is gonna taste after it's cold and you try to warm it back up.
Yeah,
that's all.
That's something kids do. As adults, I think we all learn that hard lesson not to reheat fast food.
Yeah.
You think about it, you be like, no.
Yeah. So that's basically just looking at that tells us everything what we need to know. Is like looking at those. Go ahead.
Well, I gauge that too, like with McDonald's, because as soon as they come up with something new, they add to their menu because they see it successful somewhere else and it's cutting out their bottom line.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like I said, like the McCafes. I was like, oh, they doing coffee now?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, and now they're serving breakfast because Jack in the Box finally got them. You know what I'm saying? Because Jack in the Box, that's the drunk eating right there. It's 1 o'clock in the morning.
Like Wendy's is doing breakfast now too.
Yeah, I saw that Wendy's, that Mexican restaurant that just opened up down the street. They doing breakfast. But
they've been doing breakfast since the beginning. I think that they've been always doing breakfast.
But see, I don't trust eggs from anywhere but my house.
Yeah, I understand.
I just don't know what it is. I just don't trust nobody to make eggs for me.
I feel
it's already murder. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you've been out here for a while, man. Do you see any difference of how people treat you since you've been successful? From where you came from to now.
I appreciate you that you consider me successful. I see that I'm doing okay. I think there's so much more room for me. But past that point is, people treat you differently. I don't know. I can't really say they if they do or don't. I think they show me a little bit more. They show my business savvy a little bit more respect. I would say that much at least. I don't really talk to a lot of people. You know what I mean? Honestly, I think that's the biggest thing right there. If people see that you're doing well, and you consistently taking care of your business, they're gonna give you a little bit more respect. You know what I mean? Especially coming from where we come from, being younger, doing a lot of the stupid things that we've done. In life. Okay, now you're doing a little bit better for yourself. Somebody got your head on your shoulders slightly, a little bit better, so they give you that respect. Other than that, though, I think if anything, you might get a little bit more treated a little bit differently by your friends. Yeah. They think that you probably changed a little bit because you don't do some of the same things you used to do, or don't hang out as much as you used to, because you got to stay focused on what you have going on in front of you. Yeah. Or else you can lose it, and that's the biggest thing.
My friends use my dollar store fame to try to get pussy. They're like, yo, my homie D-Mac, he be doing the thing, right? You gotta talk to me to holler at him. You know what I'm saying? But no, speaking when we were young though, you had a successful rap career, right?
I won't call it successful. I made music and I enjoyed it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we did okay. You still be rapping?
I think that when you make music, you won't ever stop making music. I don't write songs per se, but in my head I can hear lyrics. I love music. I always love music. That was a love of mine when I was younger, so it'll always be a part of me. So I can hear music even when I'm listening to someone else's. I can hear what they should have done or what they should have said differently, but that goes probably for anybody else who makes music as well. So you know. But,
you never thought about rapping to one of your commercials? Standing on top of the business, you know what I'm saying? Juice Java. Juice Java. I'm 6th Street.
No,
you know?
there's a lot more. There's a lot of younger people out there for that, man. I think, after a while, honestly, I love making music because it was an outlet for me to speak reality, speak my truth.
Yeah.
You know, and at the same time, but once I got into it, it really helped me with so many other things that I'm doing in life right now.
Yeah.
Because I started doing shows, and then you got that first, you get that first, I won't even call it a check, it was just the door money or whatever we got from the show, and I was like, man, this is more money than what I made selling these CDs quickly, you know what I mean, or, you know, real fast, and, you know, and so you start looking at that, and then you start learning. I learned a lot of my marketing from that, you know. You kind of taught you how to market to people and what people react to and what kind of goes well on the, you know, on the internet, what goes well, you know, in person. So it really helped me in the next level and the next phase of my life, you know. So I really respect and I love the fact that I was able to do a lot of things I did with music, because it really has helped me out a lot today.
Is there any artists out here in the Kitsap area you've been hearing that you like lately?
I mean, of course, Jordy. I mean, that goes without saying. But that's not so much because he's my brother's artist. It's more because Jordy's a good artist. You know, he makes great music. He makes good beats. I mean, of course, you know, you're always going to want more out of an artist, and as he grows, there will always be that much. You know, I mean, he'll always bring more to the table. But you know, like I said, I don't really listen to a lot of music. I don't really have time to do a lot of things other than the fact to just focus on what I'm focusing on. And of course, you know, I make a little bit of time for other things, but those are things that are like super important to me. You know what I mean? So I don't really have a lot of time to sit back and, you know, did you listen to my music? Man,
you gotta enjoy the time. So man, like I was saying earlier before we started, like, you know, for me it was, you know, I was working, you know, 6 days a week trying to make this money, 10-hour days, 10 to 11-hour days. And then I got time off with the COVID, and I was thankful for the COVID, man. Not because it fucked everybody's life up, but it gave us time to pause and slow down. Because, I mean, we was running around with our, like chickens with our heads cut off. You know, and then I got to see what I was working for, and I started living in the moment. You know what I'm saying? Then I'm like, man, I don't want to be an old dude. Like, because I never wanted to be some dude that was like 60 years old, about to retire, and I've hated my job. And I've hated what I've been doing all my life, and I'm doing it for money. You know what I'm saying? I want to do what I want to do and have fun with it.
I think you see that in society a lot right now. Like a lot of this stuff that's coming, this hatred and this vitriol that comes out in society is due to the fact that most people are not happy with themselves. It's something I learned, you know, at a younger age. You know, like a lot of things that you do in life is because you're not happy with yourself. It's not because of anyone else or anything else. It's because you're not happy with what you're doing. So you have to like put yourself in a situation to where you can enjoy whatever it is you're doing. You know, most people, you can't always find a job that you love. That's part of life. But you can find something else on the side of that job that you really that drives you. That's a passion of yours to kind of push yourself. So I think that's a huge thing. It's just trying to find what you love in life. You know, and you can't make it a career, but you know, if you can't turn it into a hobby or a lot of things these days, man, it's crazy because hobbies become careers, hobbies become jobs, hobbies become extra income.
Everyone's at the bottom kind of like with the COVID and stuff. So it's like, so I keep telling everybody, it's like, man, you know, do what you want to do. Enjoy your life. If you want to start something new, even for people that are like felons, like I keep telling them every time I see them, I'm like, yo, bro, this is your time to shine. You can start a business and that shit can bloom. I've seen it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but I'm also speaking about the internet and stuff. You ever been catfished?
It depends on what you mean by that.
Like by a woman?
Nah, I don't really do too much.
Like, see me, I'm paranoid anyways, right? So a girl, she be too pretty. I'd be like, nah, you too pretty for me. I got a dad bod. I'd be like, is this really you? They'd be like, yeah. I'm like, cool. Write down on a piece of paper, I want you to write bananas 22 and hold it up next to your face. What? No, she doesn't. She's real. She don't. She's fake.
I'm super like private when it comes to certain things, so I don't just, you know what I mean? But not to say anything's wrong with that, don't get me wrong, but so I don't really interact with a lot of people that I don't know unless I'm really, really like, look, okay, you know, whatever the case may be, but
the rest of us are stuck at home and I'm searching. I'm looking like, okay, she look kind of cool. She all right. You know what I'm saying? But then you can tell sometimes if they, I mean, girls should just be proud of themselves. Like if you in there and it's just your chin and your head, I know it's below that. All right? I'm still with that. You know what I'm saying? Like I know you know how to cook. I'm with that.
You know how I go to society's a mug, man. We really got a whole different definition of what beauty is. You know, but to me, beauty is different for me for every person. It's not just necessarily one thing. It's always something different. It could be, and to me, it could be something small as like your eyelashes. It could be something small as like, you know, like the way you smile. Any little thing. So I think a lot of people, we allow society's view of beauty to get to us and kind of.
Well, because it's magazines. Like for me, it's weird because like the things I like about women, they don't like about themselves. Like I'll see a girl, like if I see a girl that has those little extra fangs on her teeth, oh man, that shit's sexy. Fuck to me. Sexy as hell. I like them fangs. Bite my neck. Take me to the underworld. She'd be like, oh, I hate him. I'd be like, say nothing else. All right, underworld, I'm trying to see what you doing here. You know what I'm saying? But speaking of sports, man, I don't want to talk about the Seahawks because they keep pissing me off. Their horrible defense. But who you got for Roy Jones and Mike Tyson?
I've been hearing all kind of different rules are in place for the fight, so I don't know what the rule. Have you heard about the fact they're saying that there's a no knockout rule?
Really?
Is that true? I don't know if that's
I don't know
true
about
or
no
not.
knock. I know Roy Jones was like trying to drop out because he was like, he's seeing Mike Tyson on the internet.
He's
like
a monster
he's like,
right now.
yeah, Mike Tyson. You see him, he's like, yo, man, I don't know who that old person was. He was a bitch. He's like, I'm back to my old self. You know what I'm saying? I was like, okay, Mike.
He's in great condition right now. If they allow them just to get in there and really just do what they're gonna do, because I mean, Roy was never really a real true heavyweight.
Yeah, but he was a knockout king. I mean, Roy Jones would. I talked with my friend before.
At middleweight and weights like that, that's different. And once I don't mean to cut you off.
No, you fine.
You know what I'm saying? If you're in boxing, that's my favorite sport. You know, when it comes to anything, is boxing. You know, when you're a boxer, that's why they talked about Manny Pacquiao so much, because he came from like I think 115 or something like that. Not to say anything was funny about Manny, but you know, he came from 115 and went all the way up to I believe 147 or 154 and was still knocking people out. That's not something that normally ever happens.
Because you wouldn't be as quick, right?
Yeah, because what they do is they'll lose. Okay, say your walk around weight, this in boxing terms. Say your walk around weight is 150. Yeah. You know, you're gonna want to fight it like 135 because you can deflate. You can take all the get all the water out of your system. You know what I mean? Get your body down to as thin as you can for the weigh-in the day before, and then blow back up for the fight. Now you got back your punching power. Yeah. That's why a lot of boxers, when they start moving up in weight, lose their knockout ability. Like Floyd was a knockout artist from like 130 to like 140, but once he got up to 147, that was a wrap. When people were bigger, that was his walking around weight, and people were much bigger than that. He was fighting fighters that was truly 160. Yeah. He's 147, and so it's just a different situation. So I don't think that Roy don't have a lot. Coming with this fight. I think his chin's already suspect. He's been knocked out like his last how many ever fights. Mike was knocked out too, but that was a while ago. Yeah. It happened in the early 2000s. Roy's been getting knocked out lately.
Who did he fight and he pushed him down? The dude from London or England.
Who, Mike?
Nah, he fought Mike. It was Lennox Lewis. Is that his name, Lennox Lewis?
He fought Lennox Lewis for it. Lennox Lewis beat him though.
Yeah, he beat him so bad he just pushed him down at the end. I was sad about that. I think it was Lennox. He's like, I'm the best pound for pound fighter in the world.
Yeah, it was the end of Mike's career. Mike went and lost those 3 years to being gone. I don't know. I mean, I think him losing his trainers at a young age too. He really lost his focus.
Well, he was young, bro, and
got a lot of money, man.
Like you get the talent, you get the money, you get the women,
and it's crazy. It just changes everything. Yeah, people don't really understand that a lot of times.
That's like also thinking about back in the day, man. Do you miss MySpace? The way it was before, they flipped it.
I mean, there's some good things about it, as far as like they let you play music in the background. You had like there's different identity things that you can get from that.
We were coding back then. Like I said, mine used to play Computer Love.
Yeah,
I want the girls to know but it had a cool dating app on it because you could be like searching, be like female, boom. I want her between the ages of 21 and 28. Boom, single, not looking for a relationship. Radius 10 miles, and boom, all these women would show up, and I'm just like, hey, what's it? I had thousands of people on my shit.
Yeah, I like the way that everything's maturing though. Like that was like our first step into social media. Yeah, was that and just the way it's matured now. I think that we're gonna need some more sites soon. There's gonna need to be some competition.
Well, there's tons of it. I mean, like I'm on Twitter, which is it's Mad Max. On Twitter, but everything goes through there. You got Facebook, which is kind of like for friends and family. You got Snapchat, which is the teenagers use to Snapchat for some damn reason. TikTok is blowing up. Yeah, and then you got Instagram, but everybody's robbing Instagram because they're taking the stories from them. Because like now Twitter has stories, so there ain't no reason for me to leave Twitter. Like I love Twitter.
I don't even have a Twitter. Honestly, I'm not even on Twitter.
You're missing out, bro. Twitter. I got your brother hooked on Twitter.
Yeah,
I got my mom hooked on Twitter. Like everybody, as soon as you start messing with Twitter and you see what it really is, you're like, man, I ain't leaving this place at all. Like I first got hooked on Twitter because Meek Mills got mad at Drake for something when he made the song Rico. It was a couple years back. But so Meek Mills is calling him out. He's like, yo, Drake don't even write his own music. You know what I'm saying? That was the first saying of it. And I'm like, I just happened to log on Twitter and I'm like, holy shit. And then other rappers are chiming in. And then so I got to watch that whole beef play out on the internet and then throughout the whole week. And so after that, I was kind of hooked. And then you can talk to people on the internet. People be like, fuck you, Ice Cube. He's like, you're mad because I fucked your mom. You know what I'm saying? Like, they'll talk back to you if they want to. But.
Yeah, I gotta get, I'm just old school, man, when it comes to so many different things. I don't really even like to even give I give my opinions, don't get me wrong, but I don't like to always give my instant opinion.
Yeah, but you don't have to. On Twitter, you can you scroll and you follow people.
Just looking through.
You can look through and Twitter got everything on there. There's old rappers, like you can stocks and stuff and we were talking about the stocks, man. And I want you to try to help give some people some insight because people have asked me about investing. And I don't know any, and it's kind of one of the reasons I brought you onto the show because you're talking to me about investing, and to me it's like I'm watching Jeopardy. Like, man, I knew the answer after you said it, but I'm still lost and confused. You know what I'm saying? But then, like, as you explain it to me, it sounds easier, and I was wondering if you could kind of explain it to the viewers.
I mean, I'm not gonna act like I'm a guru about stocks. I know a little bit. I started my own portfolio. I have a minor portfolio, I guess you'd call it. The stock market, it looks the way it does because if you look at like CNBC, all you see is numbers running across the screen, and you have no idea what those numbers mean. It might say up $1 this or up down this. Yeah. And I think a lot of people, we look at it, and if you don't know, it seems foreign to you, so it kind of makes you afraid of it.
Yeah, it makes you think that when it's in the red, you're losing money.
Absolutely.
Like, now I owe money. I don't want to owe no more money. When Sprint's been having me for 20 years. You know what I'm saying? Like,
people don't understand that's just a pay. It's called, that's what they call a paper loss. You know, it's like say if you buy something on the stock market and it costs $100 to make it an even round number, and it drops by $40 or whatever. People are, oh my God, I lost this money. What am I going to do? That's a paper loss. Until you take that money out and say, okay, give me back the 60 I got left. Then you claim, or let me sell off that stock or whatever you're going to do. Then you made it into a real loss. Yeah. You know, it's just a paper loss for now. Like, people are about to go through a series. I've been saying this for a while, and I've probably been a bear. They call it a bear. Bull is a person who's very bullish on the market. They're saying the market's gonna ride and everything's gonna be great. A bear is a person who's more bearish. Like, I don't know. It seems kind of being tepid on the
Is that why they have the bull in front of Wall Street? See, I didn't even know that.
That's why.
Yeah.
But I've been a bear for a little while because we just had a very, very long run. It's more than just unusual. It's unheard of. Yeah. I think this is probably one of the longest, if not the longest, runs of prosperity we've had in this country. You have to have, the market is made so you have ups and downs. You know what I mean? Booms and busts. That's what they call them. And so right now they're jumping in the market. Everyone's so excited. The market's high. It's riding. And to me, that brings to me that's like I fear that. I'm like, okay, everyone's getting in. That's when that's when if they say that I think it's 8% of the people own like 80 or 90% of the market. Don't quote me on that exact numbers, but a very small amount of people own most of this entire ball game. Yeah. So collusion to me is something that's probably going to happen. If I'm, if me and you own most of this, I'm like, okay, let's let these people put their money into it right now, and we'll go ahead and pull our money out of it. That's why you saw, like, even when coronavirus hit,
and they had those politicians, and they had the meeting. Did you hear about that? They had the politicians. They had the meeting about it, and they're like, they pulled their money out, and there's nothing going to happen to them because we're in lawless times right now.
I mean, and at the end of the day, because they can lie to us good enough and it's okay, and then we're so trapped in political, whatever the case may be. But
no, it's because they can say what they want. No one's going to check them because for us, we're too busy trying to live our lives and see what's going to happen next week or in 2 weeks from now, hoping we get this check. You know what I'm saying? Like, these motherfuckers ain't got to work no more if they don't want to. They just It's more of a power struggle right now.
I mean, yeah, it's all about what you want out of life. I mean, but just back to the market though, more or less. So with the market, it's not so much as trying to find that, for me at least. For some people, it's different. It's like there's such thing as day traders, such thing as people who buy and hold. I'm a buy and hold kind of person. I like to buy stocks that I like to buy companies that I know are staples, things that are going to be around forever. Like, I own Chase. I own I own some Bank of America as well. I own also. I own Chevron stocks as well. I own just like energy sector. I know that sector will be around forever. Finance sector, that'll be around forever. Insurance, companies like that will just be around there's not. What are we gonna do without those companies? Pretty much,
Yeah.
you know, like
Yeah.
food stocks even. But those are kind of harder to deal with because they suffer a lot more than the. It's weird because you know you would think that food stocks would do well, but they for some reason they get hit harder than the others.
Well, I mean, wouldn't that be because, you know, with the food, sometimes you got to grow it outside, and
Absolutely.
if, like, you know, a flood hits or a storm or a country gets taken over, then it messes it up. But I think, wouldn't it go up higher?
It's just it's weird because I'm not really sure how. I have to learn more about that. I don't want to get information that I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, but I look at food like Tyson. You know, they're up and down. You know, they're all the time, and you know they own a lot of poultry, of course, other type of. And you would think that those things would be stable because it doesn't matter what happens, you're gonna need food.
Well, Tyson has a scandal going on right now where they had the factory where
All the people got the COVID or whatever.
Yeah, in
Iowa was there or North Dakota?
It was somewhere Midwest, but the supervisors were making bets about how many employees would get COVID.
I'm not to laugh because that's
No,
not funny
it's
at
not
all.
funny,
but
but
like, it's just more of a wild laugh. Like
Yeah.
wow, like that's you know, and then you get caught doing that. You know what I mean? That
Yeah.
just says a lot about what you got going on. And it probably was a joke. It probably wasn't even so much as they were serious about that whole entire thing, but with that getting out, now that's something else for someone else to file a lawsuit against you with.
Yeah.
And people don't understand, you know, lawsuits. We won't get into that this episode, but I mean, you don't want to deal with that. But
You can sue me, you be practicing. I ain't got a nickel.
yeah, so just know that stock market is not as difficult as it seems. You just have to get into play. You have to. Right, what I did mostly was look at the stock market historically, and so say in 07 and 08, say the market was, or just say 09 or somewhere around there, the market was around 7,500 points. Or maybe got up to 10,000 right around that point. You look at where a company is at that time, especially a strong company. You know, you can't look at a new company and engage it that way. It's more of a company that's been around for a while. Say like Chase, and where their stock was around that time and what their business model was as well. I kind of make that my marker a little bit as well. Like, okay, so if we're at 10,000 and this is around here, this number, and their business is doing this well. You know, so if the market's now at like what 29,000, almost 30,000, you know, this is going to be an extremely strong company as it goes forward. You know, you're going to have your bust times where the stock will drop, but we have such long time horizons where you know I probably got like at least 25 years before I would even think about looking at retirement. You know what I mean? But so that's my time horizon. People are like, oh my God, the stock dropped today. Well, you're not about to pull your money out of the market today anyway. You're not looking for that as your play. You're looking for the long term. And a lot of times, and me personally, I really look at stocks as like dividend plays. I don't look at like what is the number, how much did the stock rise. I don't really care about that. It would be great if it jumped. If I bought it for $30 and it went up to $100, that's great. But I'm looking more of it as a dividend play, long term play. A dividend is what you like. It's like for every stock that a company owns, you're basically a shareholder in that company. Maybe your share is only like a small percentage. Person could say, I could be like, I own a part of Chase, even though it's a very, very minute percentage. I mean, they might have 100 million stocks outstanding. Not to say I don't know, and let's say a person owns 1,000 of them. You're not a great big shareholder, but you know you own a piece of that company, and they're going to pay you.
And
a
it's
dividend.
not a lie.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what I mean? And so they're going to pay you a dividend per share. Like some companies will have like a quarter per share, you know, like will be their dividend play, but they might pay that quarterly. And if you own 1,000 shares or something, that's $250. I mean, or whatever the case may be, every quarter that you're gonna get from that company.
Nice.
You know, it's just kind of the way that it plays out. So that's what I look at companies more like that. Like, how can I grow my portfolio? And start looking at it like, okay, once I'm 65 or whatever, when I'm ready to retire, 70, how much every quarter will I gain from this, you know, whether it's just one stock or my portfolio as a whole. Say my portfolio as a whole pays me $10,000 a quarter. That's $40,000 a year. So now you're looking at life like, okay, I'm already set up where I'm going to make about $40,000 a year. These stocks have historically always paid their dividend, haven't missed their dividend. You can find out that about companies as well too, who missed their dividends a lot and who don't.
So you just basically set yourself up for retirement on top of your retirement.
Absolutely.
Nice.
So this are just your numbers that you're putting on top. Now you look at real estate and you put that as part of your number as well. So everything becomes a part of that number where you're just trying to set yourself up for a comfortable retirement.
Nice.
Pretty much. That's what stocks are about. I mean, stocks are not difficult. You just have to. Wall Street Journal is what helped me out a lot. CNBC helped me out greatly. What they say on CNBC, you'll read in the Wall Street Journal. So they'll go through and they'll drop things like CPI. That's called the Consumer Price Index. They'll tell you what that means in the Wall Street Journal. They have a little bit more time because it's a read rather than someone on television trying to get through a 30-minute segment. You know, so those two
and
things
telling you the highlights and stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So those two things really work hand in hand together if you really want to learn. You know, then you
Yeah.
go into other books. You know, I read The Intelligent Investor by Benjamin Graham. Read The Wealth of Nations by Adam Smith. Certain books, that's a really old book, but it teaches you just the ideology behind, like, he has a chapter in there, it's called The Division of Labor.
Yeah.
And basically it's teaching you how you, like person says, I'll clean my own house, I'll cook my own food, I'll do XYZ, which is, that works for some people, but people who don't have a lot of time understand that, okay, I can spend my time more wisely if I hire someone to clean my house for me, if I hire someone to cook my food for me, if I have someone to clean these clothes for me, a dry cleaner, certain things you can do to make your life easier if it makes sense fiscally.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can't have somebody come to my house and clean my shit.
No, but
they come to my bedroom with a black light, it's over.
No, that goes for all of us. You know what I mean? Don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, that's what the division of labor is. They're teaching you. It's more. I put it in a simplistic term because it was really they're telling you how a person gets a bar of iron and what you can do with that bar of iron, and how one person can make it into a hoof for a horse and it'll be worth this. One person might make it into small pins, it's only worth this. They're just teaching you how this thing works, how it's interconnected, how everything is.
And which book? Which book was that?
That's Adam Smith, The Wealth of Nations. It's really, really hard to read. It took me a long time to read that book because it was made in 1776. It's like the basis, they say, the basis of capitalism. It's basically, that's where capitalism was derived from.
Nice.
Was from this book. You know what I mean?
Nice.
But it's like, oh ye there, kind of. It's one of them kind of books where it's gonna take you a while to read it because it's gonna be in a.
That's like my son.
Book,
I try to
small writing.
My bad to interrupt you. I try to have him watch Tom Sawyer or read Tom Sawyer books. I think it's Tom Sawyer books because where he tricked the kids into painting the fence for him.
Yeah.
And like they paid him to do it and he was getting paid. And so I'm like, yo, son, read this. This is how they hustle. Yeah. He's like, Dad, I don't understand what they talking about. And so I'm reading it with him. I'm like, yeah, this is some old jalopy language.
It's hard to read.
Yeah, but I mean, like, if you can get into it, you can get into it, man. Like, I think the information you gave just right now is going to have all these people. It's going to mess the stock market up. So maybe you just set it up for yourself. Yes, invest, motherfuckers, invest.
I mean, I'm hoping that people really just pay attention right now because we don't know what's going to happen. We've been pumping so much money into the market, I don't know if you want to get into how much time we really got here.
Yeah, talk, man. This is the nightly strange.
You kind of look at the situation like when we changed administrations in 2016. A lot of people were looking at the situation like, oh, okay, we've reduced taxes and we've reduced the red tape in business, XYZ, blah blah blah. That's why that's why the market's better. In reality, all that happens, we gave someone $10, they gave us back $1. They really showed us that they could have already had full employment. We could have already had full employment. If I'm a business owner, I don't know if this is going to fully make sense. I might jump around a little bit. But if you give me X amount of dollars as a tax break, and I'm like, okay, to make you look good because you gave it to me, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hire more people. I'm even going to buy more product, but I'm getting this money at basically 0% interest. So I'm not having to pay back anything. I'm not having to pay any interest on this money. I can pay you back easily and still put my money and buy back my own stocks and drive my stock price up. Drive up the stock market. You're not driving up your wages or anything like that.
Yeah.
I can do all those things with the money that you just gave me, that I've got loans on from the bank, and show you what I can do. And then, if you look at us, we were in a situation to where we had high inventories. People, if you go to places like Walmart, they had they had big crates of forget what they're called. We're going to bleep this part out. We're going to back of trucks. They're called
trailers.
No, they're not trailers. They're not trailers. Man. And the crazy part about it is I'm getting into a trucking business right now too.
Nice.
But anyway,
truck is good money. My dad used to be a trucker.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
It's a great business.
He ended up buying his own truck, and so he was making like $3,000 a week or something like
that. It's a great business to get involved. I see it, but you go to those businesses, they'll have like a lot of inventory just sitting out that they're not even selling. Yeah. And this was the pandemic kind of helped them because it allowed them to get rid of all that inventory.
Yeah, because everyone's sitting at home now. They have to do more things at home
and buy more things. You go in, there's no bikes out here. Like people buying bikes like this. This is crazy.
You can sell a Nintendo Switch on the internet right now for $500. Or you could before they dropped the PS4. People are buying PS4s for $500 and they're selling them on the internet for $800 to $1,100.
Oil prices should be, gasoline prices should be low. As all out, we should be getting 99-cent a barrel gas, but we can't because of society, how it's set up. But saying that to say this, we're basically at a time where we pumped an unprecedented amount of money into the
economy.
Yeah. And you're not really seeing the effects of it. We're gonna have to. I think they're gonna give us more money probably not saying give us, but print
Yeah.
more money.
Hey, we wait.
Much,
we waiting. They went on recess though, so it's like it's like waiting on that stimulus check.
I don't think it's this. I mean, that's gonna be the next one.
Yeah,
the next one's gonna do it.
If we make it
this
that
one,
far,
this one's gonna have keep his his hand like I lost. I don't want to.
I don't want to do that. That's what's going on right now.
What it is. That's the worst way you can be about it. That shows what kind of a leader you are.
Yeah.
In all honesty, if you didn't really care about your people to begin with, if you're not willing to do step in and take the and so. More or less, I don't really see this as a great time to get in the market. You're getting in high. You're buying high, and so
when it does drop, you're gonna be at a loss.
Yeah,
right?
you're gonna lose. It's like I bought real estate this year. I bought some more real estate this year, and honestly, I know that I kind of probably bought a little bit high. But what I bought and what I was able to acquire, I know that over time I'm gonna win.
Yeah.
It was a good buy.
Yeah.
These are things they're already. Income producers.
Yeah.
They already bring me in extra income.
Because I remember we was at Boomhouse and we were talking about that, and you were telling me about the duplex. And I'm not going to speak on that because I don't want nobody to jump the gun and try to do it. But it's like, I've always wanted to buy property myself and get into real estate. But then also it's like I have my own reasons for doing it. Like I said, I want to have a compound and I want to have exits out my underground like Batman and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like cameras all set up, fake deer that heads pop off and the camera pops out of that shit. Like weird shit like that, man. Like water slide out my window and shit. Like. Goes into a dirty pool, but I'll still swim in that shit.
Yeah, I understand.
yeah. Well, man, I'd like to thank you for coming here to Nightly Strange. Is there any words of inspiration you want to give to the people out there?
I mean, just keep doing what you're doing. If you really believe in something, don't stop and don't let anybody else tell you that you can't do it. You can do anything that you put your mind to. This world is an open door. All you gotta do is open it up, and whatever is out there is for you. There's nothing that was just made for this person over here. If you want it, you can get it. So that's all pretty much I have to. I appreciate you, bringing me down here. I would love to come back and do it again, and maybe
totally.
Stay on, maybe have me stay on subject a little bit better. So.
No. You perfectly fine, Is there any shout outs you want to send to anybody?
Shout out Juice DriveThru Java.
What's the address of that again? Just so right here.
1502 6th Street. We have the best cold pressed juice. We have the best smoothies, the best coffee. Our coffee is organic. Come check it out. It's better for your stomach.
And you said you got wraps. What kind of wraps?
We got all kind. We have chicken wraps. We got turkey wraps. We got a chicken curry salad sandwich with the grapes and everything in it. We try to do things a little bit different, man. Just come check. And all of it's boar's head meat, boar's head cheese, top of the line product that we use. We don't skimp on anything. We want to make sure that what we give you is no less than what we would have for ourselves.
Yeah. So nice. Well, man, once again, thanks for coming through the Nightly Strange. Well, once again, ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host, D. Mac Uno, Wesley Blackwell in the building, and this has been the Nightly Strange. Thank y'all for listening.
You're welcome to the Nightly Strange.
Thanks, God.